Alright guys, imagine I just said something awesome for the intro. I really need to come up with some better intros. Welcome back to Cave Colonization, episode 79. Alright, we are right here today, right next to this farmhouse. So let's get started, and I'm immediately going to open the wrong box. Twice in fact, because I'm stupid and slow in the head, and I can't tell that even though I know I've opened the wrong one, I still have to wonder, did I really open the wrong one? Is this really the wrong one? But enough about me being dumb, as we'll get to see that more on display later. So we've got another incredible episode of Cave Colonization planned, we being me, I guess. This one's hopefully going to be not as long as the last one. I was originally going to build two things. I have another thing right there planned, but I thought it was going to be too big and too much for one episode, so I decided instead to just do one thing today. And that's a little bit better because it means I have less flapping about to sort through when I edit these videos, so that's always a fantastic thing. Now, this building is kind of small, as you may have noticed, but thankfully the building itself is not all of the build. There's a little bit more to it, as you'll probably be able to see from the thumbnail and like the title maybe. No, the title doesn't give anything away, so yay. But I guess what this is going to be the first restaurant kind of place on the floor, so that's cool. I guess it's kind of a restaurant. I don't really know if it needs to be inside, because as we will see, a lot of this build is focused on the outside. And because this is... oh my gosh, I literally just block trapped myself. Awesome. Because this is such a small build, I'm already like basically ready to build the roof. So that's pretty incredible. I guess I'm gonna do that now. Maybe this video is gonna be too short, but whatever. Alright, the roof is done. I can see a bat flying around somewhere over there. It's got this little skylight on it. I call it a skylight, which is kind of funny considering it looks directly up into a dark ceiling. So, does it let any natural light in? Not really, but I mean, I guess it's another window. I mean, I haven't put any windows in here yet. I don't actually know where they are. I think one of them's right here. Another one is probably right there. So, I guess now we can move on to the interior. And since it's a small building, hopefully that shouldn't take me absolutely forever. In fact, most of what I need should be in here. We will start with the downstairs area first. I've mentioned that this is kind of a restaurant, so downstairs is going to be kind of a little kitchen area with the certified DB Productions. This is a kitchen, so it needs the flower pot bamboo thing. Where did my mouse go? It was just like underneath the whatever. So yeah, it's got a little bit of a kitchen down here. I said so yeah. I'm really grasping at straws for commentary, but oh well. The kitchen isn't that big because the main attraction, I guess, of... this is awkward. The main attraction of this place is kind of outside. So there's no like stove or anything in here yet, and I need to put down some birch stairs in a kind of odd position. Up like this. Is that all of them? Yup, that's all of them. Cool. And I've once again fallen in this little hole. I should probably fill that in. Okay, so there's the upstairs, and I think I can knock these out for windows, which I may as well put in now. I have 11 glass panes. I don't think I need that. I think I need 8. Not sure where 3 extra ones came from. Maybe I got 3 extra ones because I was thinking I needed 3 glass blocks, but those are whole blocks and not panes. So I guess I'm just kind of stupid, which has never been in any doubt. So to finish off more on the downstairs, we need to put in some fences that I believe are like that, and then a couple of lanterns, and then there's something over here. I think the barrel is going to go here, and then I need to dig through my shulker boxes once again to find spruce trapdoors. And then I crouch when placing the trapdoor, which I don't need to, but I don't crouch when placing the flower pot on top of the trapdoor, which I actually do need to. So I think this is the downstairs done. As I said, it's kind of a small building, so it should go by pretty quickly. If there's a slab here, then you can't walk down here, but if there's a trapdoor here, then you can. So that's why that's a trapdoor, and then we need to put the other trapdoors to form a kind of railing like this. Over in this corner, we have this build's one and only corner bush. Since it's such a small build, unfortunately it can only fit one, which is a little bit disappointing, but oh well. I did manage to put some corner bushes outside, so it's fine. Up here is mostly just living quarters, bedroom for the people who own this place, which I think is pretty typical for what I tend to do. On this side there's a little shelf with this medium amethyst bud, and on this side there is a clock. Where's the clock? Here's the clock. Here there's a painting. No. Great, and I went downstairs. No. No, how many 1x2 paintings are there? Enough where it's frustrating that I can't get the one that I want. Like, are we for real? There we go. Jeez. Was it necessary for it to take that long? We add some lights in, and then the flowers, cornflower and the azalea. And I think that's everything inside done. And we got the skylight, which, as I said, opens directly into the void. So how helpful is it really? All right, and now outside. I guess I'll do the exterior decoration of the building first. So I think on this side, we have some dark oak stairs like here, as I've been doing previously. I don't think anything goes there, but on the front, there is this kind of stand. So this is where you would go to like order, and then they've got a menu using the same trick I think I did in a previous build where like the banner pattern is the menu, and that's the front. So then if we come around this side, I have to struggle how to remember how this goes. I mean, I don't really have to because I could just look at my screenshots, but meh, I'm far too lazy to be efficient. I must be slow instead. I mean, it's pretty simple. Apparently, I did not deem it necessary to get out my spruce trapdoors. That or I just ran out or something, which is what looks like has happened. I guess I just straight up didn't bring the spruce trapdoors I needed for the exterior, so I'll just make a couple. Boy, am I smart. By which I mean, I'm not very smart. Back here is kind of interesting. Like, this build is not the stereotypical exterior. It uses all the blocks, but in a different way. It's not every side is the same for once, which is cool, I guess. Can't really see this side because it's like right up against the wall, so technically I didn't even really need to do it, but I did it anyway, so awesome. And those windows are kind of pretty useless. Who cares? They exist, and that's good. Any light is better than no light, you know? As I put down a lantern that actually allows me to see. Any light is better than no light, indeed. Alright, and then exterior decoration. 2 barrels. This is awkward. What's that? Oh, it's glow lichen. I think I have just the right amount of blocks here because there's a fence that comes out and around to about here. Do you mind? And then I do need a lot of birch wood to put down a path that goes here. Then in this corner, I do need 2 bricks that go like that, and then the brick stairs that goes here. And the exact positioning of this stuff isn't exactly important. This is just kind of like leftover stuff. Well, not leftover stuff from the build, but leftover stuff from, well, leftover stuff for the build that is particularly placed in a location, but the particular location does not necessarily need to be that exactly particular because this is not a sentence and I'm going to stop talking. It's going to be annoying to fix that mess in editing to make it sound even a little bit sane. Now, here's kind of the interesting part, which is the exterior. And I don't know if this goes all the way out here or if there should be another layer here. I think, I don't know what to think. Alright, so it looks like it's 16 this way inclusive, so the fences are here, which makes it 1 block too short, but depending on how I did diagonal paths doubled up previously, this is a diagonal path right here, even though the birch was not in yet, this might be okay. So I'll make a couple more bricks, and then here, there's gonna be a corner bush. In a corner, technically, but an outdoor corner. Here is where there will be a birch path all the way out to here. It's 3, and then it has this little opening here, and then all of this is filled in with birch planks. I should have made some slabs so I would be using less birch wood, but honestly, with the amount of wood I have, it really doesn't matter. So this will be the path out, and this will meet up with the path here. So that's the entrance, I suppose. And I think I'm doing this in a pretty bad way, or at least in an unorganized way, but it's fine. As long as every block gets placed, that's all that matters. But this is kind of like the entrance gate to the base that needs a lantern on top. And then I guess I'll put the sign in now. This is the, as the title says, underground grill. And there's no date because there just isn't. They did not date their area. And there we go. Okay, no, wait. So these actually should be here because there's 2 fences that go like that. And then this corner bush moves up 1. So it does actually fit here better, I guess. And I guess that's cleaner, maybe. I don't know, depending on if I double these paths again. I don't really know if I do or not. I was meant to check, but I forgetted, so I didn't check. Alright, I mined out the rest of the area for the floor, so now we can put the floor in. It's just going to be a pattern of like coarse dirt and gravel. Well, I say pattern, but it's not really a pattern. It's just spam of these 2 blocks. That is what makes up the floor. And over here, I think I'm going to put my shulker box army down, just so it's less confusing. But over here, we can find the right damn screenshot. Next to here, there's a barrel and then there's a lantern on it. And Why does this exist? I rightly don't know, but it doesn't matter because now we can put in some actual outdoor seating areas, which I just copied from the diner on the floor above. Our last corner bush, which isn't in a corner, so it's more of a wall bush. The lantern that goes here, starting right here and in this way, there isn't any of these dirt patterns or this floor texturing or whatever words that mean stuff that I am saying with the intent for them to mean stuff. That's what's happening right now. A whole lot of it is happening right now. A whole ton. Over here, I forgot there's a spruce fence gate, so I did have to craft fences because I missed one here, but I guess I didn't because I'm dumb. There's one more set of seating. It's not quite in line with this. It's one down here, and then on these two there's a single red candle, and on this one there's a flower pot. An interesting fact about this build is that it's like the only build in the creative world that is accurate relative to the other build in its placement. And basically what that means is that in the creative mode world, this build is in the exact same place relative to this build as it is right here. This placement is incredibly accurate, although this one is one block down and in the creative world it's not. So it's not entirely 100% accurate, but I don't really think anyone cares about that, to be honest. So that was something. Now we get to do the main attraction, if you will. And I don't know if I'm gonna copy this exactly. I probably won't with like all the detailing and stuff, but you know what? I'll give it a go. Like the Pokemon Go grunts, they're like, you look gentle. I'll give it a go. So in the build, this is one block closer to here, but I think for cave colonization's sake and the fact that these are one, I'm going to leave a block of space here. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, twice this episode. That is like bad, but oh well, who cares? I don't. Right, I guess for now I'll just put in this as cobblestone, and then I guess I'll put the rest of this as cobblestone because I will need that. And then this is like the oven where the underground grill gets name. And then let's start the build. And this is probably gonna be slow, so I might just make like a block placing montage or something of it because I don't think I'm gonna be talking. It's gonna be too much of me looking at my screenshots. I guess what I can do before I do that, and once I figured out where this goes, so right in here then we need a campfire, and then this smoker goes on top of that, and then there's two campfires that flank it, two iron trapdoors that I can't put on top of this, and that's the grill. And the other campfire will go higher up in the chimney. Why do I have an extra barrel? So there's more smoke coming out the top. Now we get the slow, painful process of building this. Alright, I think that's done now. I've got a little bit more texture, so I'll take a stroll around so you can see the furnace, I guess, or the oven in its entirety. Barrel I still have goes here, and then I think the lantern goes right behind it there. It really doesn't matter where the lantern goes, as I'll probably just end up putting more of them in anyway. But this is the build. This is the Underground Grill, a mostly outdoors restaurant. And this build is actually kind of inspired by a place in real life, so that's a cool fun fact of knowledge, I guess, if you care. But that is going to be the end of this episode here. I was going to be able to do things, like I said, but I decided after the fiasco that was a long episode, that was last episode, maybe I should have a shorter episode, or a pair of shorter episodes, because in a couple episodes from now, I'm fixing to have another long one when I do stuff back here. We'll get to that later though, but for now, I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Goodbye.